is with Paladin, I don't have Tarim for standard, so what I'm going to do is build a wild deck real quick. Playing my favorite card in Hearthstone. It definitely is meme worthy. Absolutely meme worthy. I mean, this deck is insane, right? It's already broken. Look at all these like bomb ass cards I'm putting into the deck. Uh, Man, could you imagine if they made like Glacial Shard like a 1/2? Would have been so sick. Um, I wonder if you can like fit patches into this deck. Like maybe put Bloodseal Corsair. Like I don't know how strong uh like the wild. I think Wild Pirates is huge, right? So if I play two Bloodseal Corsair and patches, that might be enough. Because then Bloodseal Corsair acts as um, a Lost in the Jungle, I guess, and that's not too bad. Like in the early game when we don't have Hobgoblin, and when we do have Hobgoblin, it's a 3/4, and it gets a 1/1. So that's pretty sweet. And then if like we just like Stone Cold draw patches, he's not as bad as it normally is because we can Hobgoblin it. So it's not too bad actually. Kind of like it. All right, what else? What else? Sir Finley, so we can grab the good. We can play South Sea Deckhand because we're probably going to play Muster for Battle, and we're going to play Divine Favor, obviously. But if we're playing Muster for Battle and we play, oh, did I disenchant that epic? I did. Sword of Justice, and I disenchanted Cockhammer. No, oh no. This deck's gonna get worse. We can play small time recruits. We so we I had tested this card a while back and it seemed pretty bad because I thought it was gonna be like Divine Favor 3 and 4, but it wasn't that great because it only gets you one cost minions. But last time I had played this, Firefly wasn't out yet, right? So Firefly's pretty solid as it gives you like Hobgoblin fuel. But if we're playing, I don't know if this is enough weapons to. I don't know if this is enough pirates to warrant patches. I think it is. I think the value is there. Okay, we'll go through. We'll go through the one drops here real quick. They need to make another. Oh, there we go. That card's nuts. They need to make another Argent Squire, like a 1 mana, 1 power Divine Shield. But I think the fact that I think there's a hindrance in the fact that they have the thing where you keep a classic set because it stops like sometimes where like in Magic the Gathering you have ways where you can play multiple copies of a card, right? But the fact that they have a 1 mana 1/1 Divine Shield that will be always in print, it helps certain players because it helps them from a design perspective because they never have to make it again because it's always going to be there. But at the same time, you're never going to get another copy of this because why would they print another 1 mana 1/1 with Divine Shield uh, when it already exists and it's already in standard and they wouldn't want to give you like 4 copies of it? But if they had like rotations like every set, because I think classic being in the game is important for the free to play players, but at the same time, I think it hinders a lot of the potential for the game to be exciting and interesting at the beginning of every set. But that's just uh, a really bad argument for otherwise a good idea. Annoyatron's great. Um, Echoing News is the literal best card. I'm gonna have to make a lot of cuts. Haunted Creeper is amazing. Knife Juggler is insane. So let's see. I think Jeeves is just better than Small Time Recruits. Small Time Recruits gets Abusive Sergeant, Argent Squire, Bloodsail Crusader, Firefly, Main Street Marshal, Patches, Sir Finley. We don't really want to get Patches. And we don't want to get our other Bloodsail Crusader, so maybe I don't know. Yeah, I think Jeeves is just better. Even though he's like higher on the curve, I think he's just a better card overall. Again, this is just super rough draft. We're just going through, looking at all the potential playables. Ooh, we could play Stubborn Gastropod. Is that good enough? I don't think it's better than Annoyotron or Haunted Creeper or any of the twos really. Now you could make an argument that Divine Favor and the new edition of Mean Street Marshal is good enough on card draw, but I don't. I think we need, and then the potential for Sir Finley Margleton to get uh, the Warlock hero power. I think we need to cut something, but I don't know. Will we cut Bloodsail Crusader? No, because if we cut Bloodsail Crusader, we have to cut literally. I think Bloodsail Crusader is really strong because it gives us the potential for really tempo start, which is what this deck has like a problem with, right? Because if you don't have like the sticky minions in the Hobgoblin earlier on, then you have to like rely on Muster for battles and Fiesta Paladin, right? Firefly might not be the. I don't know. Firefly seems like a card I really want to try. This might just be the deck, and you don't play Jeeves at all, but that has to be wrong. I think there's other cards too. Like I used to love playing Enhance Meccano. I think that card was nuts. What else? There's got to be like potential. Like this card was fun for a while back in the day when there was significantly less playables. Like here's another thing. This is my biggest gripe, right? Like I don't actually care that you can't get more Argent Squires. I'm mad that they're really not going to print another Hobgoblin variant. Now they made one in like Druid, right? It's a 3-mana 2/2 that whenever you play a minion, it gets +1/+1. That's fine, but I want like a Paladin playable because Paladin has like the cards you really want, right? It has the Mean Street Marshal. It has the ability to make 1/1s. It has Divine Favor, which is like the most important card. So this is the reason why like the deck is playable. So you need it to be like in Paladin. And I think if they made like a see, I was almost like even greedy too. I was like, what if they made like a 2-mana 1/1? I was like trying to give it like a negative effect. I was like, oh, if you get a 2-mana 1/1 that says whenever you play a like one attack minion or like a minion that gets like +1/+0 or whatever, but then I realized like, oh, that triggers off Hobgoblin, so maybe that's too good. So if they made like a 2-mana 2/1 that says whenever you play like a one attack minion, give that minion +1/+0 or something, like that would be sweet. Like so you're not making it like too strong. Also Morose. Is Morose worthy of playing? He would be a 3-mana 3/3 and he makes 1/1 stealth. I'm not sure if that's good enough. But he's new. He might be worth a shot. We're gonna dirtle around for a while. Stonehill Defender might be great. It gives us potential late game, but at the same time, we're trying to kill our opponent like relatively quickly. Stonehill Defender doesn't do the greatest job at killing your opponent as fast as you want it to. Let's see. I think it's like the only other card we can play like a copy of Jeeves. We can cut something for a copy of Jeeves, but I don't know what I would cut. Like maybe a Firefly? An Abusive Sergeant maybe? And then there's another card that I think is really potentially strong. Like we have to play Shield Minibot, right? Like just because it's just so good. Like just because it's actually like has just raw power, I think we need to play it. And another card that I really liked is that this guy, that the 2-mana 1/2 that gives another friendly minion +2 attack. So he's like a 3/4 that buffs another minion, but he's really weak. Like we need to make we're not always gonna have Hobgoblins, so we need to make sure the deck is fine without it. Like this card is a Nombo with our Hobgoblin because it makes all of our dudes in our hand. Now it gives us like a, we could try this as like a secondary like Hobgoblin workaround. Like we can just play this instead of like the Hobgoblin. So like this could be like our copies of Hobgoblin, like uh, 3 and 4, in the sense that if we don't draw it, we can just play this and then play all of our guys out and make them bigger, and then we can kind of work around that. But at the same time, I don't know if I like that all too much. It's kind of like Nombo-ish. So we have 12 1-drops. Maybe Firefly's not good. I don't know. I want to try it though. And these are absurd. You get the Coin Hobgoblin Wisp play. You probably can't lose that one. Is Neurotron's just worse? Conda Creeper, these Knife Juggler, like these cards are just insane in this deck. Maybe the Patches Bloodseal Crusader plan's not great, but I think the Bloodseal Crusader is going to be really good against the pirate decks. I'm pretty sure they're still like rampant and wild. I think it's the best deck, but I don't know. Maybe it's Abusive Sergeant? Maybe Abusive Sergeant is just really bad. It's not good enough. Like, I always jokingly called this a buff when they made it a 2-1. When they changed it from a 2-1 to a 1-1, I always jokingly called it a buff. I was like, oh, it's just so much better now, right? But I think it might be worse. Now, the argument is that we could just play some games and see how it goes from there. But I really want to jam a copy of, see, like, I want to play, like, some Blessing of Kings, maybe, I want to play a copy of Jeeves. I want to fit one Jeeves in here somewhere. Like, Mean Street Marshal could just be bad, because we have no other way other than Hobgoblin to make it bigger. So that just might be awful. And the fact that we're just solely relying on being able to make this guy bigger with Hobgoblin, so he might just be garbage. Unless we play, instead of Shielded Minibot, we play Grim Street Outfitter, in the hopes that he's like Hobgoblin's 3 and 4. I kind of want to try that. Let's try that. Like, that could be sweet. It could be fun. We can cut a copy. 6 3-drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? Let's give this a shot. Let's make no copies of Jeeves. Let's just go. Let's just go all in on the Fiesta Pally and see where the issue